How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. I am like high off of this episode that we just recorded.
Same.
That's
so annoying that I just did that. I was like, same. I even moved my head like dramatically.
Oh my gosh.
Shoot your shot. Shoot your shot.
I can't with us. But how have you been?
I'm good. I'm really good.
You just got back from so much traveling.
I know.
I haven't seen you in so long.
I'm honestly like, I've been really good. I'm just tired, but like it's a good tired.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been traveling.
Where were you?
I was in, I think since the last time we caught up, it was Bangkok and then Belize and then Curacao and then New York and I think now here.
Yeah.
I think that's...
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, that was just in February.
That's insane. Are you tired?
I'm so tired.
Aww.
But I'm not like tired of it. I just like, I feel like I just need to sleep for a solid like 3 days and get like 10 hours of sleep and not have to worry about setting an alarm the next day and then I'll be fine.
That's like the best feeling when you don't have to set an alarm. And
I
you
haven't
just
had
let
that.
Your body sleep.
I haven't had that feeling in like over like 3 months.
Damn.
Which is why like I need to know that I don't have to set an alarm.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be tomorrow since it's raining and I was supposed to go to Disney and now I don't know if I am. But
that's so sad.
I know.
Okay, sorry, my nose is so itchy.
It's okay.
Oh my gosh, it's so itchy.
I'm leaving this in here.
No.
But yeah, it's been really good.
Wait, hold on. We can't.
I was about to bring it back to you.
Okay, but let me finish touching my nose.
Well, how freaking itchy is it?
It was so itchy. I was trying so hard not to itch for like an hour.
Really?
I swear I didn't just do a ton of cocaine.
I was gonna look like you just did a ton of coke.
Okay, it's starting over. Wow. Well, I'm glad that you're back. I'm glad that you're back, even though you're leaving me again.
Well, I'm only gonna be gone for like a week and a half.
That's still too long.
I know, but this time it's actually for my mom, and then for actually a collaboration with a cruise company.
Oh.
And then I'll be back. But this time I'll actually be back for like a long period of time, so we can record our episodes weekly and not have to catch up like a month later with each other.
I have like separation anxiety now when you leave.
I know. Well, I get like stressed out. Like I don't know if anybody cares, but me and Claire both get stressed now.
So stressed
when we're not near each other, because like.
But it's mainly because of the podcast. Because you have so much stuff to do, and like doing it virtually is so hard.
Yeah, and Claire sucks at texting.
Okay, that's not true. I just like batch text.
No. I'm not even talking about batch texting. I'm talking about like. Your texting lingo is so horrible.
Really? It's that bad?
But like, I mean, this is the most loving, nicest way possible.
What do you mean? Like lingo?
Like, you'll just be like, okay, well, I don't like this, so can you just do this? And I'm like, Claire,
That is not how I talk.
But I mean, this is the most loving way. We're like having therapy right now in our intro episode.
Okay, I guess the way I text can be a little dry.
Which, like, is fine.
But that's not actually how I get, like, that's just how I text though. It's not how I'm, like, talking.
I think, like...
Why am I going like this? Are you texting?
Like, you're like one thumb bar. Every single moment when I am, like, at my peak moment of stress, it's like, you text me, and you batch text me, and you're like, okay, well... Can you just do this? Because
I do not talk to you that way. This is not true, guys. She's absolutely bullshitting right now.
Okay, I am being over dramatic.
No, I'll be catching up on all the podcast stuff that we have to do, and so I'll see all the things that we need to like.
But
either
she'll send every single thing at once.
I send everything at once,
and then
which apparently I send at the wrong time. But how am I supposed to know? You're never here, so I never know what you're doing with your life.
It's okay. It's not your fault. You don't know. But just it's been this trend for the past like 3 weeks or 2 weeks where literally. Every single moment where like shit has hit the fan in some other job that I'm doing or like
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
It's funny because whenever I do text you is when all of my stuff has finally calmed down.
I know.
Where I have like one whole like 15 minutes.
I'm fully aware.
To just like text you back.
Fully aware. I'm glad Claire's just fucking vibing over there. I'm glad she's chilling. Like her work's calmed down. Like I'm over here like literally like on a boat, like shooting with my laptop by me trying to edit this episode because Claire is like, I need it now. I'm gonna be doing this later.
Well, I need it because we need to drop it on Thursday. I'm
That's
doing
what I mean.
favor.
Like it makes sense. It's like okay, but it just like, I'm not even kidding. I think there's a video I have to show you for it to send to you. Somebody, like a random stranger on this boat took a video of me because I had my camera on me and I was like about to lose service on this boat for like the rest of the day. And you like sent me like 10 messages and I was like, oh my God. I was like, I'm not going to be able to think unless I get this to her because she's going to need it. And then literally put out my laptop, connected to my hotspot in the middle of Belize and was like, I don't even remember what it was, but it was like something with the jingle. Or I think I had to WeTransfer you something. That's what it was.
The WeTransfers.
That's what it was.
You killed me, Georgia.
Dude,
I was so stressed out.
I was stressed out.
Okay, I need to catch you guys up. So Georgia keeps taking my goddamn SD cards after we record. She takes my cards home with her. Cards. She takes them all home. And the last time she did that, I had come from a shoot. And so I had an entire shoot on the SD card and she took it home with her. And then the client every single day for a week was like, where are the photos? And they won't listen to this episode.
It's fine.
They
have the photos now.
I had to make up an excuse
as
to why I couldn't get them the photos because I couldn't just be like, oh, well, my co-host took the photos with her to Belize. So I had to come up with an excuse. And then she kept running out of service or Wi-Fi when she was like half done transferring the files.
Bad.
So I literally was like 5 days. Well, it wasn't the edits, thank God. It was just the selections. But I was like days late to giving them.
But I felt bad because I didn't want that for you.
I need these photos. And then I would wake up and they still wouldn't be in my inbox. And I'd be like,
and that's when the batch of texts would come in. But I didn't realize because I would like literally, it wasn't even that many gigabytes. I think it was like 5 gigabytes.
It wasn't that many photos.
It wasn't that many photos. It was like 20 photos, but like raws, but still.
But the raws are...
It's a lot, but it shouldn't be that long. And I happened to be the one, like this specific client I was working for, she chose 2 islands back to back, which sounds like she chose 2 islands. Like it was really sick, but she happened to choose 2 islands that had the worst Wi-Fi in the world. Like service-wise, I had to literally go outside to post anything on my Instagram and on Shoot Your Shot and on my client's Instagram because I was doing stories where I had to hold my phone up to the sky and just like hope they would work. So with your WeTransfer, I literally left my computer at the reception one night because that's where the Wi-Fi box was, and it was like 17 hours. And I was like, okay. I was like, it's 5 p.m. I'm gonna go shoot the stuff that I have to shoot tonight. I'm gonna leave my computer here plugged in, keep it so it stays unlocked. And by the time I wake up tomorrow, it'll be 17 hours. She's gonna be great. She'll be so happy because I'm 4 hours ahead of her in LA time. It's gonna work.
So I'll wake up with the photos.
I go to the reception and it literally says 14 hours left. And I was like, how? Literally how?
The stress this woman put me through for a few days.
But even like me too. I have like PTSD. I'm just kidding.
Well, this time we're gonna triple check that you have your SD cards and my SD cards. I'm sure this is like so relatable for so many photographers.
People taking each other's SD cards.
This is just the life of
being
I am
sorry though. I want to apologize formally on camera, on the microphone, that I took your SD card, and I'm sorry that my shitty island Wi-Fi would not WeTransfer.
It's also my fault. I need to start getting into the habit of just as soon as a shoot is done, uploading all the footage to my hard drive. But like for example, I literally just came here from a shoot.
Oh yeah,
I had to drive
an
hour and a half from the shoot to recording.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't have time yet.
Like an SD card full of photos and like.
Oh God.
This is my life. This is my life. I don't have time to upload.
Well, we need to make sure that we handle this before we leave here because I need this for the.
Everyone's like, why are they even talking about this right now?
I know.
Then you cut half of this.
This is you guys catching up with us.
Yeah. Anyways, our lives are absolute chaos, but we love it.
I
literally wouldn't change it for the world.
But to go back to you really quick, you were just shooting a festival this past weekend. I want to make sure we touch on that before we go into our interview with the guest.
Yeah, I shot my first ever festival.
Oh, that was your first one ever?
Well, shooting, yeah.
Oh my God.
I've shot like a lot of concerts and stuff, but I've never shot like an actual full festival.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So it was super cool. It was my first experience doing that. It was so crazy. I mean, it wasn't as crazy as it could have been because it was Crossed Festival in San Diego, so it's a pretty chill festival. It wasn't like EDC or anything, but still like the going back and forth from like set to like the trailers to edit and then back to a set and then back to the trailer, and like it was so fun just being able to walk around, just listen to music at the same time, and it was so sick. Like I had all access to everything except for Odessa. But like, dude, my favorite, other than Odessa, obviously was my favorite part. My second favorite part was I was in the crowd watching Lane 8 and like, you know,
I love
huge crowd.
Lane 8.
Like there was a lot, he was not the headliner, but before the headliner. So
one of them.
And he was the main stage. So there's a lot of people in the crowd. So I'm like taking photos, like getting 6 shots of the crowd and the stage. And then I just waltz on up backstage. There was no one backstage except for like maybe his manager and like a sound guy.
That always
and
amazes
so
me.
I'm like taking photos of him, and then I'm just fully like vibing out by myself to lane 8 while he's just going off right in front of me. And I was like, this is like, I've shot concerts and DJs and stuff, but like lane 8 was like is one of the bigger ones, and there was no one there. Like usually when it's a big artist, they have like a whole crew, a whole squad.
Yeah.
And there was no one there. He was just vibing by himself, and I was like, this is such a vibe right now.
And you mentioned it was an all-female media team, right?
All female photo team.
That's so cool.
Which is super cool. Yeah, the head of media team like did that on purpose, which was really fun. So I got to work with like all girls and made some new friends, and everyone there was so talented. Like I feel like for me, I'm really good at lifestyle, branding, all that stuff, but an area that I don't have that much experience in, a little bit, but not that much, is low light concert photography.
It's hard.
And
it's fun, but hard.
It's hard. And these girls were so good, and it was like nerve-wracking for me, but also challenging in the best way, because I was like, oh my gosh, yes, like this is a challenge. And sometimes I feel like I don't get challenged in my work anymore, and this was so like electrifying for me, because every day I was like, I want to crush this, I want to do so good, like I want to prove that I'm like a worthy photographer for their female squad. And yeah, it was just,
your photos look sick. I was like watching them all on your story.
Thanks.
You had one story that made me laugh so much. I think I watched it like 4 times by myself.
What?
It was whenever you were like coming out of the tree.
Yeah.
You were like, ooh.
Yeah, I know, dude. It was so funny because that stage is like covered in plants, and so I would just be like vibing like under the plants, just like, oh yeah, this is a vibe, and then I would just pop out, click, click, and go back to the plants, like camouflage. And back
That's funny. Who was your favorite artist that you shot?
I mean, Odessa.
Okay, well, besides Odessa.
Lane 8.
Okay, besides Lane 8.
Besides Lane 8, Bon Entendeur, French DJ duo.
Oh.
Yeah. They were super cool. And it was
Wait,
funny
can you say it again?
Bon Entendeur.
Oh.
It was funny because one of the guys.
I like when you speak French.
One of the guys saw me shooting from the side, and so as soon as I would come up with the camera, he'd be like, he'd be like DJ, he'd be like, hey. And so every photo I have of him, he's just like got these sunglasses on, and he's just like, hey, on the
I don't
side.
think I've heard of them.
They're like this French DJ duo. They do kind of like tropical house kind of vibe. Do you know Polo and Pon?
No, but I like Mr. Tatlemon.
I have no idea. Why is the mic so far away from me? Okay, what? Who the fuck is that? Dude, why was the mic so far away?
I didn't even notice how far it was. And you don't know Mr. Tatlemon.
Mr. Who?
Mr. Tatlemon.
Tatlemon?
Wait, let me get more French with it. Mr. Tatlemon. Oh, that was so
Tout
good.
le monde?
Oh, I don't know.
What are you saying?
Tatlemon.
That's not French.
Toutlemonde.
Tout le monde. First of all, those are 3 words.
Oh.
3 separate words.
Mr. How do I say it?
Tout
Tout
le
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 le oh le
monde.
monde. I feel like I need to use like I feel like I need to use like certain muscles in my mouth I've never used before.
That's so funny. Tout le monde.
Monde.
I love the way she says monde.
Monde.
Monde. That's so cute.
Oh god, that
okay,
might...
well, I've never heard of him, but I
love
want
him.
to.
Oh, that's right. You didn't hear about it. I made a big deal about him at our Friendsgiving that we had, but you weren't there. So I mean,
I was hospitalized.
You like were there, but you weren't.
That's a whole different episode
Yeah,
that we'll
we'll
touch
talk
on, the
about that later.
Friendsgiving, where they had the best experience in their life, and I almost died.
And Mr. Taulu. Monde. What? Was it
The way you pronounce it, it's like
Right.
Drew?
I feel like Dr. Seuss.
Tout?
I can't do it again. I can't do it again.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
C'est bon, les gars, on lui apprendra le français plus tard.
Did you just call me dumb in French?
No.
I'm just kidding.
I said it's okay, guys. We'll teach her French later.
Okay.
For like maybe the one French listener.
Ollie, our friend Ollie.
Yeah, probably. So after all the chit chat, I think it's time to get to the point.
I think that would be a brill. idea, Claire.
How are you dating an English man and that's your English accent?
I actually felt so confident about that too.
Like, I know mine's shit, but yours is possibly worse.
Okay, Claire. Oh, what?
Not better. Anyways, so we're just going to go straight to the point now. We had a great interview with Natasha.
So without further ado, let's get into it. Le monde.
No, but for real, Natasha was an incredible guest.
Oh my God,
we are so stoked to have her on.
Hyper.
We are so stoked to have her on. She's a leader in the NFT world, which kind of
total
ironic.
badass.
We didn't really talk about NFTs, but
I know.
we had such a good conversation. She's so fun to listen to. Like, she just has like really good stuff to say and really good one-liners and
like. I think we said this before, like later on in the episode, but we felt refreshed coming out of that.
Yeah, it was just fun. It was
Yeah,
just a good episode. Lots of interesting things that she's lived through, and without further ado, we're just gonna throw you on to the episode.
Claire does so bad at like ending her point.
I know.
It's so funny.
They just like turn into rants that never end. I don't know how to end them.
So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Welcome back again to Shoot Your Shot. We're super excited, and
Thanks for coming back. If you're a returning listener, it means a lot.
Yeah, it does.
No, actually.
They can't see us.
They can't on YouTube.
Yeah, Claire's got Riz. Look what she just did.
This is your sign to go to YouTube. So you can see me not be cool. My lack of riz.
Okay, anyways, let's just get right into it. Guys, here is the wonderful, beautiful Natasha. All right, so as we said, today we have a special guest joining us. Please welcome Natasha. Woo!
Yay.
Drum roll.
Hey, everyone.
You're like silent clap. Okay, so Natasha, or I guess maybe some people might know you as Postwook. Natasha is a digital artist who is best known for her surreal landscape collage art with refined, visionary, and psychedelic elements. Yes. I say
right.
You are also a leader in the Web3 space, having sold out multiple collections of your art as NFTs.
Wow.
And yeah, you're just basically an overall badass, and we're excited to have you on here.
Thank you for coming on the pod.
Yeah.
It's really exciting, honestly. It's, being called a leader, I mean, like, it's true, but it's also like, I need to claim it, you know?
Yes, claim it. You are.
that.
I was gonna say.
Yes, absolutely.
We'll claim it for you.
Claim it.
You're a leader. But yeah, so welcome. I think what we should do, because this is something we like to do to like ease into it. It's called a segment, Two Truths and a Lie.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I
It's
love
so
it.
fun.
Yeah, you explain it, Claire.
So basically, give us 3 accomplishments or 3 fun things you've done in your career.
Yeah.
2 of them are true, and 1 is a lie. We have to guess the lie.
Cool. In my career.
So
okay.
this is a
Yes.
fun way to flex, also, like
Yes.
you know, your accomplishments.
Exactly.
We love a good flex. Okay, let me think. My artwork has been in Times Square. My artwork is going to space, and I have shipped a print to Antarctica.
Ooh, wow.
I think the first one, Times Square, is true.
I feel like that's definitely true because I know NFT stuff happens a lot in New York.
I also think the second one, space, is
Like-
true because it's so random and out
Yeah.
there. But Antarctica sounds,
Because maybe she's lying about Antarctica and she shipped it somewhere else.
yeah. Yeah, I'm feeling like number 3 is a lie.
Okay.
But I feel like a strategy most people do is putting the lie in the middle.
Yeah. But space is cool. I don't know.
I'm like hoping for you that like it's not a lie.
I know, because I really want your art to go into space. I don't want to pick that one.
That's such a flex.
I know.
I'm not going to space, but my art is in
I'm going to
space.
say Antarctica. I'm sticking with it.
Same. The third one's a lie.
Okay, you both are right.
I think that's the first time we got it right.
Yeah, it is the first time.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
so-
mean, maybe it's in Antarctica, but people, I've learned this, like, by, I don't know why, but, like, I know people that, like, have lived in Antarctica. 1, you don't live there year-round because it's way too cold. And then 2, if you, like, have an outpost, it's usually in Colorado, of all places, because
Oh.
it's, like, the perfect, like, straight line down.
Oh, I
So
didn't know that.
if anyone were to ever get something, they'd probably get it shipped to Colorado, then bring it to Antarctica. And I just don't know why.
Oh, that's a fun fact for anybody who needs to ship
fact.
stuff.
Or if anyone wants to go to
Antarctica.
Antarctica.
To Antarctica.
We need you to dive in on your art is going to space.
Yes, like
right
that's
now.
a big deal.
What is going on here?
Okay,
How?
so
Where?
I'm working on this project right now, and the whole idea is it's called Scream Into the Void, and we bought space, like literal like space on a SpaceX satellite. There's a lot of words called space in this, but it makes sense.
Okay.
There is empty compartments, I guess I should say, in SpaceX satellites that go into space, and we have bought some of that, and we have a memory card and an external like light thing, and it's going to basically, like, what's the word I'm looking for, like transmit images and sound into space. And
That's so
like
sick.
That is I feel like the coolest thing anybody's ever told me. Like, what?
Yeah. So that's happening like the end of this year, beginning of next year, and people can buy, it's not just my art, people can buy like time to send something to space. Like if you have like a picture of your dog, you can like send it to space. Or if you have like a clip of, you know, an audio that you really love, like someone singing you happy birthday or whatever it is, you can like send it to space.
So is it going to be there forever?
It'll be, once it's transmitted, yeah. The whole idea is like once the sound waves, well, it's technically not sound, it's light particles. Once the light particles are in space, like they're going forever.
So you're basically gonna be living on space.
Yeah, but anyone can too.
Essentially.
That's the cool
Interesting.
thing.
So
It's not just me, yeah.
and so it's on these SpaceX, what are they called?
It's a satellite.
Satellite. But
Yeah.
what if they take the satellite down?
The satellite will come down.
Oh.
But the light, so it's like if this is the satellite, if the satellite's one thing, and then the light will kind of get like shot out of it, and then it just keeps going because space is
Oh,
endless.
because it just keeps going.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like if you were in space.
Wait, that
so
just
it
blew
doesn't
my
just like
mind.
it's not just stationary.
No,
it's
no,
just
it
for
goes.
eternity just
Like imagine
going?
like the satellite is like a little kid, it's just spitting constantly. Like that's basically what this is. It's like spitting out light and it's just like going into space.
So you have like, I mean, obviously it's in space, but you have no idea what it's gonna be passing by. Like
No,
it'll be
we
passing by
literally-
like,
Yeah,
I don't know, Mars.
We had to literally put
Mars? Like that's like not even exciting. Mars.
No,
it could be
we have-
like an alien.
Or an alien,
200
yeah.
years from now.
Oh, could you imagine if it? Oh, wait, ready for this? Could you imagine
really
if it went to
excited.
you like 2,000 years ago or 2,000 years in the future, and you just like saw it like
Well, she
pass
would be
you?
dead.
like some interstellar
I
shit.
don't know. I'm thinking like some like crazy trippy stuff right now.
Like, were you alive 2,000 years ago?
I mean, I could be in some alternate universe. No, but it's interesting. In our contract, we actually have to have like fine print for like alien attacks.
What?
I'm not kidding.
Wait, what do you mean alien attack?
Because if
It's
like an alien's out there and they like get the sound or they get like the light particles and then they like go to the SpaceX satellite or something, we have to like
then
make
you
sure.
get blamed?
Well, we have to make sure we're like not like
Like you can't
responsible
sue
for
the
it.
alien
Yeah.
or something.
Well, you can't sue us.
No,
No, it's like you can't
Sue
sue
the
you can't sue
alien.
us if an
You can't
alien
sue
like
you.
invades or something.
So you have a contract.
That's
Wait,
crazy.
wait, wait. You have a contract protecting you in case an alien gets angry at your art and wants to
Basically.
attack Earth.
Yeah, or anyone else's like visuals. I know, isn't that crazy?
And that you will get sued
Yeah.
by the U.S. or world government.
I don't even know what it would be at that
You
point.
even can even sue.
I'm literally crying.
Yeah.
That's so funny to me.
I know, just like imagine like a little Martian, like in a little UFO. Like,
He's like, I didn't fuck with this art.
He's like, it's offended.
well, our
And you're like,
fear,
you can't sue
Postwook.
me.
our fear is that like someone's gonna scream into space, like literally just yell, and then it's gonna like upset someone, and then they're gonna come invade.
Really? Wait,
That's the fear.
that's like an actual problem you guys have talked about.
Yeah.
Like,
Poor
as a team.
baby
Yeah.
alien just gets scared.
Like they just start crying.
Well, like imagine if like we were just here and then you
Like,
just heard like
I don't
really,
know, an
like,
alien
loud
cry noise.
yelling right now. Like imagine like just from the sky, it's like ah! Like you'd be so scared, you know? Like that's
Or like you said, like people can send like them singing happy birthday. Like imagine if you sing it really badly and you're just like an alien sitting there and I don't. That's crazy.
like right now, and you just hear. It'd be so terrifying, just like out of the sky, like coming out of nowhere. Like
Claire's like dead over this.
I just can't believe you can't get sued. That's so funny.
there's a lot of like legal things I never thought I'd have to deal with.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah. But it's fun. I mean, like, so my job is like I make the art. I'm doing some of the marketing. There's like little like certificates and stuff that come with it. All the like legal and like the science stuff. Like I go into those meetings and my eyes glaze over. I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. I'm just,
Do you
I'm just
feel
here.
like you would offend an alien with your art?
We're not letting go of this
but
alien
the
thing.
thing is all the screams are confidential, so like we don't even know what they're gonna put in. So like the whole idea is you buy the scream or like the space for yourself, and then you can record whatever you want. I mean, like ideally, like you don't record something that's like offensive, but like if it's like a picture of your dog, like we don't know, so it's just like the whole idea is it's like completely anonymous, and then it just like goes up into space, and like some alien might be offended by someone's dog. They'll be like, this is ugly, you know, like they might see golden retrievers and think they're monsters, like I don't know, you know. So we have to so there's a lot of like legal stuff that goes with like, I don't know, putting things in space.
Oh my
But it's really cool.
Who
It's
knew?
like,
I know. I'm like, my mind is blown right now. I mean, the fact that they even have to think about aliens in contracts just shows that there
But
are
it's also
aliens.
Such a flex that like your art is in space.
I said you should talk about that more. You
So
should just
cool.
go around like when you
just
meet
lead
people
with
like,
that. Hi, my name's Natasha and my art's in space.
yeah,
I will when it goes up.
offending an
Trust me.
alien.
When it goes up in there, because I made like the mission badge, so every single
my God.
person is gonna who like buys this time on the satellite
No
is going to
way.
have the mission badge.
That's sick.
Yeah, it's
I
really
love
cool.
that.
I know.
Amazing.
And they're gonna be like $40. Like the whole thing is we want it to be fun and free, or not free, but
Wow.
like cheap. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we want it to be like accessible to people and like just be like a fun thing. But it's not like, you know how you can like buy a star and you have no idea which one it is. The whole idea with this is like, you buy the scream, you know exactly like when it goes up, like you get like a little marker and it like emails you and it's like your scream like deployed today, and then it tells you like your scream's in space now. And then when the satellite comes back down, it'll say like, you know, your scream was successfully put into space and the satellite is safe and sound or whatever it is.
That's so cool.
It is.
It's a 5-year mission, so it'll go in its orbit and then it'll come back down. But yeah, we're gonna ideally, if it goes well, we're gonna do one every time they have them to go up.
That is so cool.
How often do they go up?
Every like 18 months or so.
Okay.
But it's a lot of like work to get it going. So
Yeah, I bet.
There's like a
Yeah.
lot of logistics, obviously, like, you know, alien invasions.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a lot of things we have to work out first.
So you also mentioned your other truth was that you've had a billboard in Times Square.
Yes.
Okay, tell us about that. What was
Yeah.
it for?
It was for New York it was in New York last year in June. There was like a conference and my work was up there and they did it so early in the morning and it was New York time, 8 a.m. And I was like, it was like
Oh, no.
5 a.m. internal body clock time. And I like rolled out of bed and I was like, I have to go see it. And I like walk in and I'm just like, Times Square is, okay, I don't know. I never like spent any time in Times Square before this. It's dirty. Screens are flashing all the time. There's people everywhere. Like, I don't know. Those pigeons have more grit.
Pigeons.
Dude,
What?
the pigeons in Times Square have more grit than most people. Like, it was
That
intense.
is so funny.
And then
That's
I
how I
saw
feel
my
about
work.
pigeons in Venice Beach.
Yeah, it's the same thing. They're
Dude,
crazy.
one stole my French fry one time in Venice Beach.
I
I
wouldn't
would throw
doubt it.
all the fries away.
Yeah.
I wouldn't touch them.
They'll steal a piece of pizza from you if you let them. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so noted. Like you don't like pigeons.
No, I feel
Pigeons
you.
are cool,
I feel
but
you with that. Oh,
it's kind of
really?
funny.
pigeons.
Really?
I hate birds. I have a bird phobia.
Oh.
You have a bird phobia?
You don't know this?
I did not
I have a
know
so
that.
Birds.
bad bird phobia. If a
Really?
bird gets near me, I'm out. Like
Are you
I
serious?
get full like anxiety. Like have to leave. They're so gross.
I think crows are like the coolest things ever.
Really?
Yeah, 'cause they're really smart.
Oh my
They'll
god, I can
remember your
totally
face.
see like a vibe right now with a
Oh,
crow.
I
next
know,
to
for
you.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would
100%.
own, they're illegal to own in every state. I've
Really?
already looked it up, yeah.
I love
I
that
didn't know
you
that.
know this. Like you've looked this up. You're like, I need a crow.
I want a crow. Apparently, like ravens. I found this raven on TikTok. There's like this animal conservatory person, and like it's like this releasable raven, and like this woman has trained this raven with like toddler toys, like shapes, colors, names,
Whoa.
faces. It's really cool. Like they have like the like brain power of like a small child.
Wow.
Yeah, they're
So
really smart.
You want your own personal little robot.
Yeah,
just-
that could like run
Do
errands for
stuff.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Run
go get
errands
me
for
that
you.
slice of pizza over there. That'd be cool.
Funny, yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, you know, whatever. It's all good.
But okay, so you were up super early for this billboard.
What was it of exactly? Like I
was
know
it
you said
for?
you were there for a conference, but
The piece?
Yeah.
So I had to make something new, and it had to be a square, which I normally don't do. So I made a piece of art called I Don't Feel That Way Anymore, and it basically was about how, like, in the past, I felt, like, all this, like, pain and, like, just, like, anguish about, like, my life and things, and just, like, in this present moment, or in that present moment, and this one, like, I just don't feel that way. And I made this piece of art, like, for my, like, 13-year-old self. So, like, when I was, like, standing there, it was, like, this moment where I could be like, hey, you made it. Even though you went through all this pain, even though you went through all this, like, you're standing right here with me, and we're in Times Square, and you're looking at your art in Times Square, and like everything's okay.
Wow.
So that's what I did.
I love that.
Wait, can I share something? Because I just had a very similar experience the other day that I relate so hard in what you just said. I shot Odessa at a festival this past weekend.
That's cool.
And in high school, I was like super sad, depressed, and like not in a good place. And I thought I was never gonna have a good life. And Odessa was like one of my main artists when I was really little.
Like in return.
And then
Like,
I like was shooting Odessa in the pit, like creating art while seeing their art unfold, and I started crying, and I was like, this is what baby me thought was never possible. And that exactly what you just said is exactly that, like full circle. We were like, holy shit, like I did that. Like I am here, and I've done so much more than I even thought like I could when I was younger.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's so funny because
Oh, I
Odessa
love
is that
that.
artist for me too.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. Like I was like so like, oh my god, I would listen to their like 2014 album like on repeat.
Yeah.
I don't know how like dark I can get, but like I would be
Send
like
it.
I was gonna say, just go for it.
I would like I would so I don't know, in college I had like a lot of like weird friends, and like people would just give me like random pills or like I don't like these, and they would just give them to me. And I just remember this one time, like it was like 2014. I lived in this like really nasty, like they're called like English basements, but basically it's like an apartment that's like underground.
Okay.
And I lived in this like underground apartment, and my roommate was gone, so I was all by myself. There was no sunlight, and I was just high all the time, and I was just so depressed. And I was listening to Odessa, and I was just like, I'm never gonna get out of this feeling. I'm never gonna get out of here. And I did. I mean, I'm grateful. But like, it was just, I still listen to Odessa in like a different place now, but like I can sometimes remember that, and I'm like,
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you get the memories, and then like the emotion almost resurfaces in a way because you remember how you felt when you would listen to that song.
Yes.
And so the song is attached to that emotion. I get that with Odessa too.
that's my art
Yeah.
in a nutshell. I mean, that's kind of what I make, is like that. It's like to capture like that feeling in a piece of art and then put it away.
Oh,
Oh,
I
know what
love
I mean?
that.
So it's like
Yeah.
I like I have that feeling, and then I'm like, okay, all right, let's sit with this, let's do something with it, let's process it, and then I make the piece of art, and it like gets sealed, or I have to make another one, you know. But like I can like seal it in, like Dumbledore with his pensive, you know.
Do you feel like you compartmentalize your experiences through your art then? Like when you make a piece of art and you put whatever experience or emotion or difficulty or happiness that you're experiencing and you put it in that piece of art, do you kind of close the door on that? Is that your way of processing the information or emotions? Do you fully close the door, or is it like something that you have to like come back and redo, revise, you know what I mean?
I think like I close the door and I seal it, but there's a window so I can see it, you know? Like there are some pieces I'll make, and like the song that I was listening to just like pops into my head immediately, and it's like really cool. And then there's some where like, you know, the experience is maybe not, it's been resolved in that one situation, but then there's like a sibling experience that comes up that's very similar that I need to then go back and like do something else with, and I'm okay with that, you know? Like I think that I think that we fool ourselves if we try to say that like we can, oh, I'm just over this completely. It's like you're gonna have to like go through like layers of healing in like anything you do, you know. And like it's great to have progress, but like I would be a fool to say that like I know everything, because there's always something more that you can learn about a situation. So yeah, like that loneliness, like I've felt it in a different way now, and it's like it feels like a companioned experience, but it's changing every time, and I'm okay with that, you know, like the shades of it like going through, and like I'm grateful now. It just isn't as like painful as it was, you know.
Well, it's also good to go back to that art or song or whatever and not forget that's where you came from, because it does make you appreciate the reality you're in even more. And that's what it was for me at that Odessa concert, the set. I was so unhappy and depressed, and now listening to that same song, I Play You Listen, if you're an Odessa fan, from 2012, their first album.
Dude.
I'm like listening to it live, and I'm like, I'm so happy. Like my life is so good, and that moment, song, piece of art, it's great to go back to it sometimes because it puts everything in perspective. And that's it. It sounds like that's what you do, which is super cool to hear. And I don't think I've ever verbalized that before.
Yeah.
And it's super cool to hear you.
It's just
verbalize
crazy
it
how
that
you can assign different emotions along your journey to different songs. Like how you said you were really in a bad state, and that song you probably listened to in that point of your life, you're really upset. And now when you listen to that song again, you're still going to remember that, but now you're also going to remember that really good moment that you had shooting. And like, I'm sure with your art, like you probably look back at certain things and you're like, wow, I was in such like a horrible place, but like now I'm looking at this art again and now I'm in such a better place. Like, let me add even more different type of emotion to it.
Yeah, would you ever redo a piece? Like,
Yeah.
or do a second version of it?
I've been doing that more recently, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
That's
so funny.
sick.
That's
and
cool.
It's, I'll like I'll get the old one as a reference in the like file, and then I'll like do it. And it's funny to see what changes, because I'm not trying to like replicate. You know what I mean? I'm trying to like use it as a reference and just kind of see what happens. But it is really interesting because I'll see like how far I've come. It's like a nice like signpost of like how much has changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
I
really,
think,
super
yeah.
cool.
I'm glad I got to hear you say that for the first time too. That's like
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, no, I'm relating a lot to what you're speaking on. That's sick.
okay.
We literally just had to stop because it got dark in the studio, and then we were looking for an extension cord to put one singular light on, and then we found a light switch that just
Lit up.
literally has light. So just to give you behind the scenes on how chaotic this podcast is still. Anywho, back to our amazing
Back to
guest,
Natasha. Natasha just has to deal with this, like deal with us. So I think that's a good way to segue back into asking you, where did your creator journey begin, and what is your art? Like, maybe talk more about that so listeners know exactly what it is, because we kind of kept that open-ended.
Sure, I'll shoot my shot. How's that?
Oh, we love that.
Had to.
We love when our guests throw it back at us.
Yeah,
Throw
like
it back.
I know we both went like.
So I like can't really like pinpoint like an exact moment like when I was like, okay, I like art. Like I can just remember like pretty much like every early memory in my childhood that was like positive was creative and like creatively inspired. Like I literally can remember the scent to this day, like right now in my nose, of the finger paint I used to use in daycare.
That's crazy.
And it was blue, and like I just remember like this one adult that worked there saw me finger painting in this blue paint and was like, oh, this is like Picasso's blue period. I was like, who's Picasso? Right? But it was just so funny because like I really just like always enjoyed being creative. But what really ended up happening was I was always very creative as a child. It was always something I really enjoyed doing. So when that became absent, it was very obvious in my life. Like I was very aware of the absence of creativity. And then when that happened, I was like, I need to do something creative. So what happened in that moment is, I like to call it like my glow stick moment. You know, I crack a glow stick and it like
Wait, I
opens up.
love that.
Yeah, that is
That's
so
a glow
cute.
stick
It like
moment.
perfectly like visualizes.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, it's my glow stick moment, and I was just like, I have to do something else. So I just downloaded Photoshop on my phone because I had like made art when I was younger, and I was like, I'll just figure out something that I've already done that I like.
What kind of art had you made when you were younger? Like physical painting or
Oh yeah, so
graphic design?
I painted, I did like some like drawing, a lot of typography, a lot of collage, which I'll get into. Costume design.
Ooh.
Yeah, I used to make clothes and stuff.
That's sick.
Pottery was a big one. I used to write a lot. I think it's not necessarily like visual art, but it's still art.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was kind of hard because when I had that glow stick moment, I was living in an 800 square foot apartment. I didn't have room for pottery. I didn't have room for paint. I didn't have money for like supplies. You know what I mean? And the only thing that really made sense is I was like, well, how do I translate any of this to digital? You know, I don't know. The only one that really translated was collage art. So I just like downloaded Photoshop and I just like started figuring it out. And like at first it was kind of choppy, as it should have been because it was new. And then I realized like, okay, there's like probably something I can do here. But that moment that I had as an adult of like, okay, this is different. I was like, had that moment, that glow stick moment. And my boss at the time, her mom is an artist. And I just like had this feeling, I was like, I don't know what it was. It was like this little moment, this little like voice in the back of my head that was like, you are too. And like I'd never really believed it before, but I like knew. There was just like something in me like that knew, like the way I'm left-handed was, you're an artist. And it was really cool.
Wow.
I love this.
Yeah, it was really interesting. So
How old were you?
when that happened, 23.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you in post-college?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you go to college for art, or
No.
what did you go for?
Politics.
Oh, wow.
Oh wow, so total opposite spectrum.
Yeah, so I worked in politics prior to being an artist. So that boss worked in politics, and yeah, so I have a political science degree, and I like politics. You know, it's interesting. Always happy to show people how to look up politicians and who's donating to them, because it's public information.
Yeah.
But it's always funny when I tell people about politics, then they start spewing some random opinion about politics, and I'm like, that's cool. Because I was never like into it the way that like my peers were. Like they would follow around these politicians like they were celebrities, and I was just like, I just want to like help change things. And I felt like I felt very drained from politics very early, because I felt like I had to detach everything I cared about from what I was doing, because like I was working for a politician who literally was pro-union, but like didn't give us PTO, didn't give us health insurance unless we asked for it, and if we did, it was through the state. Like never gave us any sort of like break benefits the way that like these union workers get. And I'm like, oh, so you're pro-union for who though?
Yeah.
Because you don't even give your staff these benefits. So it felt very like soulless, and it was kind of frustrating. But then also like, I don't know, I think like I enjoyed doing something that felt like positive, but I knew it like wasn't gonna be a forever thing. Like there were like things where I was just like, I enjoy like happiness too much for this. You know, like even like corporate America, like my partner works in like corporate America, and like it just seems so boring to me. I just like couldn't do it. And I like kind of knew that, but I thought maybe I'd grow out of it, but I never did, you know?
So to go back to the collage work quickly, can you kind of give a little bit more, like, I don't know, like maybe define exactly what collage work is? Because I know that's not, I mean, maybe it is a more common word, but I know for me, like, I don't usually hear people talk about collage type of art.
No.
So for anybody that's like, what's collage art? Maybe shine a little bit of light on that.
Man, I'm happy to.
Hey.
Physically, like, or are you speaking like virtually,
Digitally.
Okay.
Digitally, for sure. So I get photos or pre-made assets, or collage art, I guess, to say, in any format, whether it's analog or it's digital. You get assets, whether they're magazine clippings or Picasso, ironically, did collage with like wicker material and like mixed media. Like you can use anything that is already constructed in some way, shape, and form to create something else. Like that is the definition of what it is. So like in really like highbrow art museums, you'll see a lot of collage that's like sticks and rope and tape and paint, and in my opinion they look stupid. But that is technically considered a collage. So whatever, great. What I do is I take photographs that are on the internet like already, or they are taken by me. I can talk about copyright. I know more about copyright.
to ask about that.
I
know
literally,
more-
that's the first thing that popped in my head.
I know more about copyright than some lawyers out here, so we can get into it. I mean, obviously you want high res, so you want them to be something that you can download. That's like the biggest thing, is just like you want your photos to be good photos, and if you're gonna use photos that like you can get a high res version of, they're either uploaded by someone who knows that they're gonna be used for something else, and ideally you've paid for them, or like the service implies that like if they upload it here, you could be used for X, you know? So that's a big thing with that, or I take them, and then basically you get these digital like assets, and then you cut them out and you put them together. It's ironically not that different from 3D art. If no one's ever burst your bubble with 3D art, a lot of it's just pre-made models that people put together and then shade differently. So if anyone ever tries to tell you,
I was gonna say,
that's the tea. If anyone ever tries to tell you that like 2D digital art is easier than 3D because it doesn't take as much time, it's like, tell me how much time you sculpt and you actually put it together and you color versus how much time your computer needs to render. Because in my opinion, that doesn't make good art. Your computer's like computing time does not mean that your art is more masterful.
oh my god, I love that.
Like that's my hot take. It's just
I
like,
like when I like snap. I'm
Mic
like, yes,
drop.
Natasha.
well, I mean, I think a big thing for me is that I like stream my process on Monday nights. Every Monday, I go on Discord and I share my screen and I make art and I talk to people and like they ask questions and they just watch me make it. And like sometimes I'll make 3 pieces in 2 hours. Like I'll just bang through them because I know what I already want to do in my head. Like the vision is something you can't replicate, you know? You don't have my vision. So it's like, that's like the biggest thing. And then what happens is like people watch me do it and they see like, wow, I've been doing this for so long. It just comes together really fast and I can just do things really quickly because I know what to do. And I really live by the saying with art that's like, it took me 15 years to learn that I only needed to cut 1 wire. You know what I mean?
Ooh,
like I learned how to do what I do because I learned how to do everything else.
I feel like you're like the Buddha of the art world. I don't know why. Like everything you're saying, I'm just like,
it's like
wow.
all a quote. So I have a quick sidetrack question, but how do you feel about all these AI generative art programs that now like create collage? They're basically their own works of art. Like, how do you tell us about that? What does that make you?
I think AI is cool. I've been messing around with Midjourney a little bit just for like inspiration and like just to kind of make things. And I don't think there's anything wrong with like the way I want to use AI in the future more is like getting it to make a very specific asset that maybe I can't find or take myself, and then use it as like the pre-made assets the same way that I would. But like the whole point is that you're not supposed to know. Like in my opinion, if it looks like super AI, it's like kind of lame. You know, it's like you want it to look like something different. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it as long as you tweak it. But it's the same as like what I do. Like I can't go on the internet and get a stock photo and put a filter on it and be like, cool, look at this art I made. Like that's not fair. The same way I don't think you should be able to go into Midjourney and type in a prompt and be like, cool, look at this art I made. You have to do something else with it, whether it's like putting things together or like really like putting it through some sort of like processor or, you know, whatever it is to make it different. You have to do something to like not just make it like, I think they call them raw exports.
So I was gonna ask, if it's just a raw export, then that would never be considered its own unique art from whoever put in those words to create that piece. They would have to like go through another program or have to add something to it.
Yeah, even if you're gonna
you can't claim it as your own.
Yeah, because I think legally there was something that happened with that recently that like raw exports can't be considered your own.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think
so
that
it's like
legally happened. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
I didn't know that. Okay, so do you think that this is kind of on that topic? Do you think, because going back to how you were saying you love to do more, it sounded like hands-on art, and now you're in the digital space. Do you think you've had to compromise yourself at all as an artist, going from more like hands-on, like pottery painting, to having to be forced to, not, I don't know, again, it might not be forced, but being forced to do your collage digitally?
That's actually a really good question because I feel like in the past week I've spent more like non-screen time than I have, and I really have enjoyed it. Oh. And it's like to the point where like I kind of want to like get dirty with my hands again, where I like haven't, and I'm like inspired to do that in a different way. Maybe it's limiting. I think that the bigger thing for me is that like I really just enjoy creating in whatever form, you know, and like I can do the hands-on type of stuff and get that like kind of, I can feel satiated through like physical like touch of like, for me it's like barbells and dumbbells and stuff. Okay. Like that satisfies it a little bit, but I definitely like need something in my life that's creative, and I don't really care where it comes from, but I do want to get more back into like the physical like aspect of these things. Like I have all these ideas of things I could do that are like physical. I would just need like a space to do them in. So yeah.
Okay, do you have a favorite medium outside of digital art?
I really haven't like had a chance to like explore all that much. Actually, okay, this is kind of like this might be a cop-out, but like I've been baking a lot.
Oh, okay.
I actually like, not to say I know this, but I've heard about this before from Jack.
Oh, my like infamous bread, yeah.
Yes.
So I make bread. That's like a thing that I do, and I really enjoy it.
What kind of bread? Trick question.
It depends. I make French bread. I make.
Oh my God!
I can make like baguette and stuff.
Her name on Instagram is Lady Baguette.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, she's like known for like baguettes.
I like
baguettes.
Baguettes are good, you know?
Oh my God.
Like country French bread.
Great.
It's a good one. Like a little bread pan.
Oh my gosh, love.
And then, yeah, I'll make
Claire's
challah.
like trying to play it cool right now, but she's actually like freaking out inside. She's like, you make
she makes bread. Screw her, she just makes bread.
Yeah, I do make, I mean, that's like something I do physically that like I really enjoy. Like,
oh my
that
god,
really
imagine a
satiates
baguette
it.
collage of just like different types of artistic baguettes.
You know how to get me going.
She's like talking dirty to me.
Oh my god, I love it.
Anyways, back to you.
No, it's all good. Yeah, so I make bread,
That's
which I think is
sick.
fun. But if I really had to like get into like a art form, I want to do what I do now, but I want to do it like physically. And like before the pandemic, I did some of it. Like I got these like gesso boards, which is basically just like a board of wood, and then it's got like a flat surface. And then I would go to these like really fancy like print shops, and I'd get this really nice paper, and then I would get the layers cut out individually, and then I would cut them, and then I'd put them on, like I'd glue everything down like on this physical thing, and then I'd like paint with like UV paint on it.
Ooh,
and I did that
that's
before
cool.
the pandemic. I still have all the UV
That's
paint.
sick.
I did that for Toyota actually in like 2019. I got
Subtle plug. I love that.
I did I did like a project with them where I had to get like a car wrapped.
Ooh.
So I wrapped it and then I
Whoa.
painted on it after with like the 3D
That's
with
so sick.
yeah, it was pretty fun. It was
So,
really cool.
Does it only work in certain lighting then? Or was
Only
it
in
only visible
black
in
light,
black
yeah.
light? Okay.
But
That
it
is
was cool.
so cool.
That's super cool.
But that's what was cool about it too, was like if you wanted it to just be like the piece as is, but like cut out, it could be, but then if you put a black light on it, then you see it.
Yeah.
So it's like, it really like varied in the way that you wanted it. I should do more of them. They were fun. I feel like people would probably enjoy them now.
I would
Yeah.
love my car wrapped in that and just show up to like a rave.
Man, yeah. it would be crazy.
That would be sick.
Okay, so I think what I'm curious about is how you got your name, because obviously you're Natasha, but you have Postwook. So how did you decide that?
Is this a music thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Share.
So it kind of started as like an inside joke with my friends. It was like 2017, and we were at a music festival, and like the whole idea really was like, I felt like I had kind of grown up a little bit at that point, and I had like a full-time job, and like I had responsibilities and all this stuff, and like I just remember going from being like at work one day to then like being in the middle of a forest at a festival, right?
It's Electric Forest.
It was Halloween down in Florida.
Okay.
Oh, Halloween,
Yeah, it was fun. And it was just like this really cool moment, and it kind of hit me. It was like rock music, there's like post-rock, which is like it takes elements from rock music. Like Postwook was supposed to be like, I take elements from like wookery, but I'm not a wook anymore.
Oh, like with the things over your head.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a wook is
Like a wook.
For anyone who doesn't know, like a wook is like a person who goes to like a music festival and basically just like kind of roams around and gets things and just like does their thing and like rolls around in dirt, whatever. And
We
that
love
was like,
festivals, so
Yeah.
you're talking to the right girls.
yeah, no, it's great. I think more people know what wooks are now, which is great. People are always
That's so
asking
funny.
me.
You used to be a wook.
Oh yeah.
I got
so
gifted
cute.
one of those things by somebody. They came up and put it on my head, and I was like, "What is this?" And they were like, "You are a wook." And I was like, "I am a wook." And then I was like going around and telling everybody this is my first like festival as a guest, and I was like, "Oh my god, guys, I'm a wook." And they were like, "She's not a wook."
Yeah, I don't
so
even know if
funny.
it's a compliment sometimes because it can get. I remember, I mean, I would see some like real wooks out there. Like, I mean, I was a wook, but I'm talking.
There's
like
some weird wooks,
These
not
feral,
gonna
these feral wooks.
Some feral wooks for
Feral
sure.
Like I said, there's some weird
There's
wooks.
some
Yeah.
weird wooks out there.
And I mean, it
Why
can
you
get kind
go
of weird.
country?
I love it.
Yeehaw! There's some weird wooks.
All right.
Well, I feel like
Back
people
to
think.
Natasha.
I feel like people think wooks live in like Colorado and like Michigan. No, they live in like Tennessee. That's the thing.
That
So
makes sense.
They like live in like Tennessee. Like wooks don't live in. Yeah, like at this point, like
Live in downtown LA.
cost of living. Yeah, they do.
They probably live in the studio.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, it's so funny. But yeah, that was like the thing, and I don't know, I just kind of felt like I still do, like that kind of music, and I don't really go to shows all that often anymore, but I did. And I mean, I just think like part of it was like, how do I bring self-expression and like that feeling of like a festival even into like a professional world and not make it over the top, but also like keep it present. So like the whole idea with like being a wook was like, or post-wook I guess, is like if you wear like a tie-dye like tie or you have like, I don't know, like smiley face cufflinks, right? So it's like this very small little thing that indicates like, okay, you are an adult if you have cufflinks, in my opinion, but they're like fun. So that's kind of my life, and it still kind of is. But the name and the art are actually kind of separate. So like I had all this like philosophy around like what a Postwook is and all this stuff, like the cufflinks, blah, blah, blah. And I just kind of created an Instagram because I wanted to have the handle, because I was going to start like a blog about like how to be a responsible adult, but also still like go to music festivals. Like,
No
that's
way.
what Postwook
That's
was
so
supposed
cool.
to be.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what Postwook was supposed to be.
Were you doing that because you saw a lot of people who were not, like you saw the opposite, people struggling to do both? Or
No,
what was the...
all my friends were in that place, and we were all kind of in this place of like, okay, we're in our early 20s, like how do we like, you know, how do we budget? How do we go to these events? How do we save? What credit cards are better for travel? Like all these things, like how do you rent a car? And it's not like, but like, you know, how to like be an adult and have fun still, like how, like fashion inspiration. Like I had all these ideas of like how to make these things fun.
Oh, it's so cool.
Honestly, that's so not what I expected.
Yeah, I
love
know,
that.
right? I mean, that's what Postwook was supposed to be. It was supposed to be like a lifestyle brand, and it did not happen, clearly. So I started the Instagram and kept it as like a squatting handle, and then I just started posting art there because I wanted to post it somewhere, and then people found it. I think that's really what happened. But I will say a lot of like the early success for me was very much accredited to like the people I had met through the music festival community. They really like put me on, and like they shared it with their friends, and their friends shared it with their friends. It was like this huge ripple effect.
I feel like that's the very plur community vibe, is everyone's very
Everyone just hypes each
supportive.
other up.
For those who don't know, plur is part, I guess also for those who don't know what we're talking about, this is all kind of like in the EDM world.
I would say she used to shoot festivals, and I used to help produce
I'm a
them.
bass head, like big wubs, dubstep,
Yeah, like wah,
Gal.
wah, wah, like grab my arm and
like,
just like
railing. Not, and that's weird to say it like that, like at the rail.
No, but like right in the
Anyway.
rail.
I like how Natasha, your glasses fell in that moment. You were like, okay.
No, that is
That's not work.
that is chef's kiss right
Oh
there.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yay.
Oh yeah, baby.
Well, it's so different now, because I remember like going to like, I remember seeing Odessa in 2015 at Bonnaroo on a side
Oh
stage.
my God, were we
On
at
a
the
side
same
stage,
festival?
wow.
I went to Bonnaroo in 2015.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, and it was like it was like the side stage. It was like the
Yeah,
backstage or
it
whatever.
was like not that big, and like
No, it was like at 2 p.m.
literally.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
No
And
way.
I remember being there, and I was like, that was like my
Wow.
first, like, I don't want to say EDM experience, but first like where I was like, whoa, these artists
Yeah.
are so good. Why are they not like a later time?
Yeah, right. And I remember that, and I just remember like seeing like Dead Mouse later that week, and it was just, I just remember like it was a different time where I feel like now, like, I mean, shout out to the homie, but like Subtronics was like not a thing, and now he like takes a private jet everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Subtronics.
It's so funny. His art is in, or my art's in his house.
Oh, really?
In fact, he bought it. One of my
That's
friends
sick,
is friends
dude.
with
I
him.
know.
And he's such a sweetheart. I just have to say this. Like, one of my friends told him about my art, and he was like, "That's really dope." And like, usually when that happens, DJs will be like, "Oh, like, what can you do for me?" He bought it.
Hell yeah.
He didn't even talk
We
to me
love
until
that.
I already
after.
love Subtronics. Like,
Yeah,
shout out.
he's like
love
a
your music.
genuinely
Yeah.
good
That's
dude.
even cooler.
Yeah, he's like a really
That's
good
sick.
guy. Yeah, I like genuinely am
What's
like
his real name?
grateful, Jesse.
Jesse.
That's on the
Oh.
internet. I don't feel like weird about saying that.
All right. We fuck with you, Jesse.
Yeah, we
we're
love you,
like-
Jesse.
We're stands now.
It was cool. It was like a really cool moment. I was just like, yeah, like that's genuine. But it's just, it's gotten so big. I think that's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say. Like EDM has really grown.
It's a whole different world than what it was like in 2016, 17.
Yeah, I haven't really been to anything since then, so I don't even know like, what it's like.
I kind of stopped like when COVID happened, so I'm not like super hip.
Yeah, like I hear about things out
You would
here.
be more so.
Well,
Yeah,
like
I
the
stopped probably, like-
countdown and stuff out here, and I'm like, I kind of.
Those are the ones I used to help produce.
Countdowns used to be so good.
Really?
That
I
makes
don't
me
even
sad.
know.
They used to be so
The
good.
fits are tight. I like it when people
Who
post their
are
I
pictures.
actually did not like. I wasn't a countdown
Really?
fan.
I had so many. I think I went 3 times, and every time was
I
like,
didn't really like it. I always liked. I mean, again, I'm biased, but like I really liked Beyond Wonderland.
Really? See, that's
I've
the one
never
I
been to any of
didn't
these.
love.
Really?
Yeah.
It
Beyond
just
was always kind of whack to
just
me.
so fun to me. Anyways,
I want to know first though, who are your favorite EDM artists?
Well,
I'm sure it's evolved, but throw us some names.
Okay, so I mean, the one who got me into it has been very canceled, and I think you know who I'm talking about.
oh, Excision.
No.
Excision
He's
got
not
canceled?
I thought he got
Like,
canceled.
No, that's the love of my life.
Wait,
No.
who am I thinking of
I
then?
like
Jeff,
Excision.
I love you. I've
oh.
seen him 14 times.
No, who am I thinking of
I
then?
need
That got
15.
canceled.
Yeah, the other guy.
The other
Riot,
guy.
not Riot 10.
No, not Riot 10.
No. I know who you're talking about. He's kind of he's trying to have
He's
a
trying to
comeback
have a
right
comeback,
now.
yeah, he is.
Wait, I
Someone
know.
help me.
I know who you're talking
I
about.
saw him 40
What's his name?
times. Bass
40
Nectar.
times?
I saw
Oh,
Bass
Bass Nectar.
I saw
No.
Bass Nectar, yes.
That's the
That's
one that got
Bass Nectar?
canceled.
I saw Bass
Oh, I
Nectar
thought you were talking about someone
40
else.
No, he's the one. I always get him in, I'm not confused,
Do you know who
but
what I'm talking about?
no.
The dubstep one who got really
You're
canceled
thinking
a
of
few years
Flash
ago.
Adamus?
Datsik.
Datsik.
Oh.
Yeah.
Datsik got canceled. So did Space Jesus.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Bass Nectar got super
and Bass
canceled.
Floss got
Nectar.
canceled?
No.
No.
I just
Floss
threw that
is
out as a
good.
guess. Floss is, I love Floss.
I
One
love
time I
Prison
talked,
Riot.
One time I talked shit about Floss's set on my story, and then he watched it and replied and said, "LOL."
That's funny.
Isn't that funny?
That is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I saw Bass
Awkward.
Nectar like 40 times. So
40
that was
times?
40 times. I was like
Good
very
lord,
into
how?
it. Well,
40.
You're
40.
like, well,
It's. I mean, you know, that's where Postwook kind of came
I was
from.
gonna say,
finessed
I'm
my
like
way.
14 times excision, light work.
No, 40. I mean, it was a lifestyle. You
That's
know what
a
I mean?
lot.
Damn.
Some of my best friends I still met through that, and I like don't regret that, but definitely like feel really weird about him. Obviously.
Does your back hurt from all the dancing?
No, because I engaged
that
my
was
core.
such like a mom thing to say.
Bro, I have back problems now from like.
I can show you how to engage
Really?
your core. You gotta.
Yeah,
work
so
your
you
core
gotta
out.
like use your abs.
You have to use your abs and bend from the.
Yeah, so
you
you're
gotta
not
lock
like
in.
this.
Yeah,
You
because
go-
then you're gonna hurt yourself.
Yeah, you gotta go like.
Well, wish I knew this like 6 years ago,
I
but
can show you.
okay.
This is Postwook. It's like, how do we have better mobility and still go
Oh,
to
so
a
this is
show?
actually where it all began. She's supposed to show you how to like do
Yeah,
it,
exactly.
throw your back out.
Exactly.
Okay, do you ever feel like there's a line of separation between Natasha and Postwook? Like, do you feel like it's the same entity, or is it like a double act? Like, is there a balance? Like, talk more about that.
My brain wants to ask, what answer are you looking for? Just to be honest.
Oh, see that.
But there's definitely a double act going on, like for sure. I think that like there's I think to any extent with anyone and anything, like you have not like, I don't want to say a mask, because that means a mask to me represents like you're hiding something. I think that we put on different hats in every situation that we're in. And I think that like I put on like the Postwook hat when I
Okay.
like go out in public and like have to like present, right? But like I think that on a low key kind of like day when I like don't have to talk about art publicly and I don't have to like, you know, go anywhere, and I could just be whatever I want, you know, like it's definitely different. And I think that one of the things I've noticed with like Postwook versus Natasha is like sometimes, and I feel kind of weird saying this, but it does happen, like sometimes I'll be out in public somewhere and someone will be like, hey, like you're that artist, and I'm like, yeah.
So do you post yourself or
Yeah.
like your face a lot on your?
Not
Oh,
a
because you do
lot.
Discord, right? So people like see you.
No, actually my face isn't on that, but yeah, I do post it.
Okay.
I've thought about getting like another cam for me, but I'm like usually like eating craisins while I'm doing it, so it'd be like, like so it really wouldn't work. But like I'll post on my stories and stuff, and people just have like seen it. You know?
Do you get recognized a lot?
Yeah,
Oh wow.
That's pretty
especially in
cool.
Orange County, oddly enough.
Really?
Yeah, I know,
Oh.
right?
That's
From
where
the
your
wolves
niche
in
is.
Orange County.
I know.
But it's also weird because I feel like sometimes, depending on where I am, like, it's like if one person says something, then everyone else in the room will also say something. But if that one person didn't, then no one would. And I'm okay with that. But it kind of makes me think sometimes, I'm like, is someone in here watching me? You know, like I don't know. I don't like to think about that because I don't ever want to like think I'm like that important. Like, I mean, also it's LA. Like you see people all the time. You can't.
Yeah, but
be
I'm
weird
sure
about
that is like adds some stress. Like, do you think that there's moments where you have to? I don't know. Do you find it hard to balance that, or do you ever get stressed where you're like, oh my god, or where you're like, oh my god, I have to be Postwook right now, like, or I have to be Natasha right now, like, what do I do?
Do you have multiple personality disorder?
No, definitely not. Well, I mean, a good example is like I went to the gym this morning and I was like, my head was in work. My head was in art. I was like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. And like one of the trainers, I'm like friends with the trainers, and he was like, how are you? And I was like, my feet are here, my head is not. In those moments, I feel like I can really just like kind of be myself. And I had to like get it back, right? Because like my head was like in Postwook, and my body was like, you're at the gym, you know, like be at the gym. But I think like what's really challenging sometimes is like when I'm talking to someone, especially in LA, this happens, and I really don't like this happens. TikTok has actually made this better, which is kind of funny. I'm talking to someone and they're like, oh my God, let me see your Instagram. And then they start treating me different, like right off the bat.
We've talked about this. Like people in LA, like they'll ask you before they even want to know you.
I hate
your Instagram.
that Instagram even comes up.
Or like, what do you do? It's never a how are you? It's always a what do you do? What's your Instagram?
Yep.
Or it's like, let's stay connected. What's your Instagram? Like,
Yes.
that text me. Like, here's
Yep.
my number.
Yeah.
But they want to be
Instagram.
associated with you.
Yeah, it's horrible.
No, it's really a thing. And like I have seen that a lot. And like I've had people literally go from like treating me like okay and decent, like a normal person, to then like a totally different person.
We did a pet peeves episode on this. That was one of
That
our
was one of
both
them,
of our
yeah.
biggest pet peeves in
Yeah.
LA specifically.
Yeah.
Question, and maybe this you won't even have an answer for this, but because you have a lot of people who love your art, do you ever get not necessarily negative feedback, but like criticism on your art, or like do you get strong opinions on your art?
And how do
Like,
you handle that?
Yeah, I feel like because there's so many people, maybe.
Some people will say things and I can tell it just stems from like a place of jealousy. Like there's a few people that it's uncommon. I don't want to come out here and be like, I got haters, you know, like for breakfast. Like,
Hate
no.
follow.
I really
Hate follow.
there's probably a few people who hate follow me, but like
We're all about hate follow.
Yeah, we love a hate follow. We're
It's
like, if
fine.
you're gonna hate, at least follow.
right. So I think like the biggest thing for me though, just like being an artist is like obviously I'm always thinking about the work. I'm always thinking about art. I'm always thinking about like how I can improve and like what I can do next. And like I'll literally be anywhere, everywhere. And I'll have to email myself an idea. Or
You
write
email
it.
yourself ideas?
I do.
Why email? Why not like a note?
No, I do that too
Or
sometimes
text.
because I'll like either make a note or if it's something, I don't know, if I'm in like a weird headspace where I feel like I need to remember this creative idea, I'll literally email it to myself and I'll put creative idea number like whatever it is.
Interesting. I've never heard of that before.
I
It's
just
kind of
put
cool.
to do and then I put it in there. But yeah, I just because I work on my computer, but I like have the idea on my phone. So it's like if I want to see it on my computer, then it's like on my computer right there. And then I have like all these like ways of like being productive and organized. I like have my to-do list that's like written, and then I have like a calendar, everything's blocked out, and then I have a goal like notebook and
I love that.
yeah. So I just like I have to keep
We
everything
loved an
like,
organized queen.
Yes,
yeah,
you
we
do.
love to be organized. But yeah, so I really think the biggest thing for me is just like I have to know when to separate it, and I have to know like when is the right time to be who, but also recognizing that like I'm allowed to be like myself in any situation, and like I don't need to feel like bad about like if I am tired one day, and I also don't need to perform. And I think that's something that I'm like really getting into now is like I'm allowed to just like be myself. I don't have to like pretend to be like this person someone like wants me to be. I can just like be who I am, and like who likes me are the people who like me, and that's it.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that's so
exactly.
important
It's
and
really
very well
hard.
said.
It's fucking terrifying. You know?
It is
It
hard,
is.
but once you like lock it down, it's so freeing.
And accept it too. Oh, she touched it. She touched the mic.
Sorry, you just don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once it's like you lock it in, you're like literally doesn't matter what anyone thinks except for me.
Me.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
Okay, so with that, there's something that I did really want to talk to you about today that I feel like is an interesting discussion for all of us. The idea of an artist versus a creator. So with this, I've kind of seen this debate before, actually on Twitter, where a lot of creators won't necessarily consider themselves artists because often they're consistently creating work for clients, not for themselves.
Oh.
So I'm just curious to open that up to all of us, and especially you. Like, what's your thoughts on that artist versus creator?
So my head like immediately goes to this like flowchart I saw on TikTok that I thought was really interesting about the difference between a content creator and a celebrity.
Ooh.
And like a celebrity is created by the mainstream media, and a content creator is created by the algorithm. And I think it's like very similar in the way that like an artist is created by like the traditional art roots. Like if you're in galleries, if you like sell your work as your work, even if you sell like prints and stuff on the internet versus if you sell it for someone else. So I can see that argument, but I think at the end of the day, like I think that celebrity is kind of stupid. But I think that like if you are well known for what you do, you could be considered a content creator or a celebrity. I think those lines get kind of blurred after a while, but I also think that like in the sense of like art versus creation, like it is the same thing. Like even if you take photos for a client, you're still a photographer. Even if you make art, like I have to make art for clients, it doesn't mean I'm not an artist. You know, I just think that like I think it's hard because in my like perspective, even though I was super creative as a child and like always was very like eccentric and happy to be like creative and it's my favorite thing to do, I never consider myself an artist because I can't draw, I don't have pink hair, I didn't go to art school, I don't wear mismatched socks, I don't like sit in a tree and read a book. Like I'm not like Luna Lovegood. And I was like, that's an artist. And if I don't look like Luna Lovegood, I can't be an artist. Like I like to make bread, I like to deadlift, and I make art. And I like love that I'm all of those things, you know? And I think that the biggest thing for me that I've kind of seen is like, one of the things I want to do on this planet is show people that being an artist, like I don't want any like little kid to feel the way I felt. You know, like if I can help one child feel like, hey, you can be an artist even if you are an athlete, like the world would be a better place in my opinion. Because I genuinely did not think I could be an artist. And I put these thoughts on myself. No one told me, oh, well, like, you know, you're not this, you're not that. But like, that's what I saw being celebrated. And I was like, well, if I'm not that, then how am I an artist? If I can't draw, how am I an artist? And I think that like now we're really seeing this like huge, that's why I kind of like AI, because it's really showing people that like they can be creative even if they don't know how to be creative. And I think that that's cool. So I think if you make art, you're an artist. We don't have to talk about quality. You know, that's a different conversation.
I love that.
I really love that.
I completely agree.
As you said that so well, like
I think as long as you're creating, it's the same thing. You're a creator, an artist, it all kind of means the same thing, right?
Yeah.
And you don't have to have a level of professionalism or experience to be considered an artist. Maybe considered professional. I know, you, like,
Sure.
Generally people say it's what, like 10,000 hours of doing a craft to be considered professional, but you can be an artist and not be professional, or you can be a professional. It doesn't matter as long as you're creating.
yeah.
Creating
As long
art.
as you make, and I think that's the biggest thing that like artists get tripped up on. It's just like, I find myself in this position too, where I get really caught up in the ends, right? I'm like, I need the product to be good. I need the work to be good. I need to make something that's better. I need to level up. I need this, I need that. Instead of realizing as an artist, all I need to do is make art.
Oh my gosh.
That was
I
so
am
good.
relating to this so much because I am OCD to like
Yeah.
a stupid level with my work, and I stop myself from creating so much unless like the concept, the styling, everything is like perfect. And I'm like, if it's not, you know, 10 times better than the last piece of art that I've created, it's not even worth putting time into. And I get stuck into that like
I'm the same
deadly
way.
circle of like, then I don't end up actually creating any of my own work for so long because I'm like, oh, it has to be better than like the last 10. And
Well, it's funny
Yeah,
because
I
one of
get
the
that.
things I'm learning from this space project is that they're like startup people, and like something they've told me is like, if you're not mildly embarrassed to launch your product, you've launched too late.
wow, okay.
And
Oh.
I think
Launched too
that
late.
I've
Wow.
applied that to art too. It's like, not like embarrassment, but if I'm like a little like, I don't know if I like it, like I should release it anyway. It's kind of how I've like adapted that, because I think that like we'll always get better. It's just a matter of continuing to do the thing.
Well, an art is subjective, so what might
Yeah.
not be perfect and the best to us could be like
Amazing
super
to somebody
exciting
else.
or inspiring for someone else. Yeah.
One of my friends told me the other week, she was like, your taste will always be better than what you can physically do. I was like, damn.
Whoa.
That
Wow.
was actually really true.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you think you can ever get to the point where your taste is the same as what you
You can
make?
physically do?
I kind of feel like mine is. I feel like very satisfied with what I create at the moment, but there are moments when I don't, and that's when I know I have to like do something else, you know?
How often do you put work out?
You mean like posting or?
I guess, or like how often are you
Like
creating?
just creating or selling or posting, yeah.
I try to make a few pieces every week, but that's just because I have like this Discord stream, so I at least make those. And then I'll work on like longer term projects. But I would say I don't know if I get it to completion, because I try not to stay in the ends of any of it. Like I'm in the process, ideally like 3 to 4 times a week.
Wow.
I'm in the process of doing something
That's
creative.
That's nice.
But I'm not necessarily
that's nice.
finishing anything, you know? Like I just like to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
What are like briefly like some of the challenges right off the bat that you remember specifically entering this digital space as an artist?
Well, the algorithm is a big one.
Yeah.
And I think it's changed a lot. So I kind of got onto the Instagram scene in like 2018, and like even then it was different than it is now. Like hashtags were way more important. And I felt like, I mean, the biggest challenge I think was just putting myself into fourth gear. I think that was like the biggest thing, and I just haven't been able to stop. You know, like I think, like I've posted on my Instagram every single day since like December of 2018. I've not stopped.
Whoa.
Every single day?
Every single day.
You posted a piece of your art?
Yeah, and I've
every single
reposted
day?
older work.
Okay.
100%.
Every
you know?
single day since when?
2018.
Wow.
Yeah, like December of 2018.
That's good for you.
So
I need to
4
do
years.
that.
That's so much work.
I'm over
Yeah.
here like, you're inspiring
for
me. I need to do
you.
that. I'm sitting on like literally 2.5 years of content that I just, for some reason, am like
Same.
stuck in like OCD perfectionist mode. And like everybody tells me like, stop, like just literally put it out
Just do
there.
it.
We should do a 30-day challenge where we force ourselves every day.
Oh my god, I
Well,
love
Instagram
that.
just created this new feature where you can schedule your content in the app.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's amazing. I do it. I like literally like
We should do that
I
for
canceled all
the
my other
podcast.
subscriptions. I canceled them. I was like, I don't need them anymore. You know,
Don't need what?
I don't need my other subscriptions anymore.
Oh, yeah.
For like those things to do it for me. Like I'm
Yeah.
good with just Instagram, and like it's
Wow,
so funny.
every day since 2018, like I'm
Every
so
single
caught
day.
on that. Like that is so.
That's
Yeah.
intense.
the self-discipline that you have is amazing, and I'm just enamored by that.
Well, it's part of my like routine now. It's like at night I like drink my like tea to go to bed, and then I like, you know, do my Duolingo, and then I.
Ooh, what language
schedule
are you
my
learning?
Russian.
Oh, I like how you said that.
It's a very like odd language, yeah. But
Wait, are you like good? Can you say anything?
I mean, I could, you know. But, like,
no,
Wait,
don't do it.
I have a question. So you're posting every day.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like you need a break from Instagram or social media
yeah.
in general?
Yeah.
And then because you've basically posted every day, do you ever take a break? Do
Yeah.
you just schedule everything out for like a week or something? Or?
Yeah, so actually every year at the end of the year, for the last 9 days of the year, I schedule my top 9 like photos from that year, and I just schedule them all out ahead of time, and I just like usually don't get on the internet
Okay.
during that time. And I've realized, because I actually went on like a proper vacation this past year, I'm realizing I need that more than once a year, like that time.
And you don't check at all. You just like delete the app on your
No,
phone.
I
or
like
something?
I'll check it a little bit here and there. I don't really like mind that too much, but if there's anything I don't want to do, I just don't do it. If there's
Gotcha.
anything I
That's
don't want to
good.
respond to, I like ask myself, and I still do this. I'm like, do I really need to like check the internet right now? And it's like, no, I just don't. I actually like can stay away from my phone because I feel like I have to be on it so much. I actually like have moments where I'm like, I don't want to touch this thing right now, and I won't. You know, and then there's moments where I like can't get my fingers off of it.
That's how I am.
It just depends. Yeah. Like if I catch myself like getting like, I call it like, I'm like skipping a second too fast. I'm just like a little, there's like never, I have to get off my phone. To me, that's a sign of like, I need to put this thing away. I need to turn it off. It needs to become like a heavy brick on my desk.
Yeah.
And I just have to do something else right now. You know, but it's hard. And I think I've done a lot of like self-development work to like get to that point where I can see that in myself.
That's good.
Shout out to my therapist. But,
We love the therapist.
we love him. He's great. Yeah, and I think that has really like helped me. But yeah, like my phone is something that like I have to be really careful with. But I do post every day because you know I do. But I've switched it up. I like post some reels, post some new work, old posts, carousels. Like I like switch it up a little bit.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, I think leading into kind of like maybe just your journey as a whole as a woman, because I know we're a woman-led podcast
In a male-dominated
in a male-dominated industry. What advice would you give for other women trying to pursue being an artist full-time? Like, how has that journey looked for you?
Oh, there's so many things I could say.
I know.
I mean, it kind of is the same for any professional field. Like any dude who's giving you more attention than you think you need on something is probably doing it for the wrong reason. Obviously be like, you know, like give people the benefit of the doubt, but if someone's offering to take you to dinner and they're constantly commenting on things that like maybe look like you're feeling yourself and you're just trying to like put one out for the girls and they're kind of always there. Like, you know the vibes. You know the vibes as a woman, especially if you're like in your 20s. You know when
Trust
someone...
your gut.
Trust your
Yes.
gut. You know when someone is trying to be creepy. And in my opinion, someone... Because I had to learn this lesson in my like early 20s. Like someone who is quote unquote important in an industry who can do something for you is never worth that kind of attention. It just is never worth it because they're never going to actually do that thing for you. Like they're leveraging their power over the fact that like they think that you paying attention to them will give them something, and they know that you're only paying attention to them because they can do something for you. So
I'm so happy that you said that. That is,
it's never worth it.
So spot on
Yeah.
with just even how I look at the industry. Like, people love to go on power trips and just literally what you said, use their power to try to, I don't know, like lure you in, but like make you think like, oh yeah, like I'm this guy. Like,
Yeah.
it's
And
horrible.
Unfortunately, it also very easily works on girls who are just getting started in like their industries. It's because it does sound really nice when you don't really know like the behind the scenes or how people think.
Especially when you don't have like friends. I'm sure like you can relate to this too. And I don't know if you've moved out here not knowing anybody like we did, but like that was so hard when you don't know anybody, especially for me the first time going out to like LA parties, like trying to get like connected and like
seeing a stack of NDAs this big with everyone's Instagram following on
literally
the guest list. Yeah, that was at Bella Thorne's house.
Oh, I went to one of her things once, and you literally had to sign an NDA to get into her house.
Who?
Bella Thorne.
Oh, really?
I had to sign
I can't
that
say
before.
anything else, but yeah.
Exactly, we signed NDAs, but
But it was. I mean, she wasn't even there. So it was, you know.
well, she wasn't there for mine either. I was so mad.
So you went to a party at Bella Thorne's house, but Bella Thorne wasn't there.
Yeah.
Why? Who's hosting the party?
Honestly, like her house.
Sister, who also lives there.
Oh, okay.
It was like
She's really sweet. Danny's actually really cool.
So it was her sister.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Okay.
It was like a thing to like, I don't know if it still is, but I remember when I first moved here, it was like a thing to like go to her house and like take pictures in her bathroom with her like or graffiti mirror.
Wait, I didn't.
Wait, I don't know.
It was like a content house before content house.
Oh.
Jack's like, you signed an NDA, don't say that.
I've been in that house at times when I did not sign an NDA, so I'm comfortable saying there's just like cool. And there's like
it's all over Instagram. It's honestly fine.
Yeah, there's like videos of it and stuff. She does not live there anymore. I don't think that is a thing anymore. But it was like really fun. And yeah, I mean, her sister's really fun. She's really she was like walking around with like a cup of like salsa and like chips and just eating it. I was like, you're my vibe, dude. I didn't even know who she was. I was like, that's my vibe right there. She's really sweet. Yeah, but yeah, it's just I think that like the biggest thing for like being a woman is just like I guess the other thing is don't give men attention when you know they're not in it for the right reasons, and also like do not view other women as competition. Like they are your peers.
Yes.
Like other women are not out to get you, and if they are, then like run away from that specific woman, not all of them.
And usually the girls in the industry are so supportive of each other.
Yeah,
because
like,
they know.
Truly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they know, and that's the thing. I've had very limited encounters with women who feel like competitive. Like I can't even think of one person off the top of my head that I'm like, oh, I need to like stay away from them. You know.
I feel like it's the opposite. Like for me, like I would love to literally just have a team of all girls, like as a director, and just hire all the girlies who kill it. You know?
I try to hire as many women as I can. You know, like
actually, that festival that I just shot was an all girl photo team.
I love that.
And the
Which
girl
that was really cool that you said that because
on
normally
purpose
they aren't.
did that. Yeah. Usually it's all guys. The video team was all guys, but the photo team was literally all girls. And the girl who managed the team was like, "Yeah, I did that on purpose this year. Like, I wanted it to be all girls."
I love
cool.
that.
Super cool.
See, for me, that's like the vibe is just like, you know, I think women are not your competition, and like these guys aren't going to do anything for you. The other thing I've noticed, and maybe this is just like my perspective, is like men who have close relationships with women, like they're married or they have like daughters, generally men I want to be around.
Yeah.
You know? Because those are the guys who like know what it's like, or they have a really close relationship with their mom or whatever. Like that to me is usually a good sign. But yeah, I mean, I think the hardest thing on top of all of that, not even advice, is just like there are moments where I feel like I get overlooked simply because I'm a woman. Men will not talk to me because they're afraid they're going to send the wrong message instead of realizing that like I don't care. Like I just did a collaboration with one of my dear friends, and like so many people reached out to him who knew me and him, who saw my like social posts, commented on them even, and then reached out to him. And it's like, how many like sales and how much progress am I missing out on just because these guys won't message me?
Where does that come from? Is it like are they intimidated? They don't care? They feel like more comfortable talking to another dude? Like,
I think it's
where does that come from?
I think it comes from being more comfortable because like even when we have like, because me and Jack like own our business, like I'll literally notice when we're doing business with another guy, they will literally gravitate more towards him and won't even care what I have to say because he's just a dude.
So do girls do that too?
I
Do
think
girls also gravitate towards the girls when it's like vice versa, like flip situation?
I'd say sometimes I see it, but I think like women are so used to being like kind of cast aside that I intentionally try to include everyone.
Same.
On purpose, you know, and I think we've all kind of been in that situation where you realize like you're at a table and then none of the guys are listening to you. Like, we've all had that experience where men don't know what that's like. So
that happened to me on set today.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the DP was just like fully just acting like I was not there, and when it was like it was the photo time, he was just kind of giving like weird vibes. Like I was moving the light and he was like aggravated, and I was like,
it's just annoying because you always have to feel like you have to prove yourself.
Yes.
Like I don't think, I mean, I hope this changes, but I think that it still is. We always have to prove ourselves in some capacity, which just sucks.
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's a big reason that like I'm really grateful that I am where I am, but like I think part of it is like it's so frustrating because I feel like I'm the one that has to initiate all these conversations, and I have to be the one that like even if I'm afraid of someone doing something weird or like making a pass, like I have to be the one to initiate and open these conversations up to make sure that like they're happening. And if something weird happens, like I know how to handle it and I'm grateful for that, but like I have to be the one to like do all that, because otherwise like it's just not going to happen. So it kind of in a way has taught me things, because now I'm like kind of a go-getter. Like if I want something, I go for it. You know, I don't wait around.
Well, wait, with this, I think
Should we end the pod?
we should end with our favorite segment. Go ahead, you do it.
All right, so our favorite segment is the Shoot Your Shot segment.
Okay.
We want to know who
Cupid
your
air
creator...
sound.
Cupid air sound. We want to know who your creator crush is. And by creator, can't be like Channing Tatum.
Can't
like,
be a
it
celebrity.
Be a celebrity, like your creator crush.
Oh, like someone in like the
another artist.
industry that I'm
Yes.
but not like in like a romantic, just like I really like what they do kind of thing, or like,
Both.
I mean, it could be
let me
both.
Could be like a cutie who does good work.
Like imagine you're not dating anybody. Like, who would you shoot your shot with?
I mean, it really depends. I mean, there's like a few people
Oh,
that like I'm like wow, like I really like what you do, and I think it's really cool. I mean, he's not really like he's got like a baker. Does that count?
He's a what?
He's like he like bakes things.
Wait,
Okay,
that's cute.
okay.
Look, you're like getting excited.
And like he's like very openly gay, so I would really just want to go on lunch with him. Like that would be like a little
Cute.
thing. Oh my god, what was
And
his
eat bread.
name? His name is, I think his name is Jake Cohen. He's like this like he lives in New York, and he makes bread.
Oh my
Sick.
gosh, you
And
guys
he's
can
like-
make baguettes together.
He's really he's like
You can make baguettes together and send it to me.
Yeah.
and I mean he comes up with all these like really good recipes, and they're like really nice, and he does this little thing on all of his reels that I love. He like looks at the camera at like when he like puts the bread down, and it just like falls like the dough, and I'm just like, it's so funny to me. I'm like, why do you do this? But yeah, no, I just like I would like love to like get like lunch with him, like cake with
cute.
him. Just, I don't
Jake
know.
Cohen, please come to LA and get lunch with her. I don't know why I'm
Make
doing it
bread.
like this.
It's kind of funny. Yeah, no, he's just I just like really admire his content. I think it's really fun.
Oh yeah. Well, with that, Natasha, thank you so much for coming on. This has been such a good conversation.
I was gonna say I love you. I adore you.
Georgia and I are hyped.
I would say you
this
were
has been
literally
so
the
good.
like best human ever.
And this has been so fun and organic, and just
Yeah,
like so
I feel
many
like we're
random
fresh.
topics covered.
I feel
that we did
refreshed
not
after
plan.
talking to you.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you.
Yeah, this was so good. So thank you so much for your time. And do you want to share with everyone where they can keep up with you and your work?
Yeah,
Yes.
so I spent a lot of money and time trademarking Postwook, so you can find me there everywhere. So it's POSTWOOK as in kangaroo. That's Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, my website, my email, like all of it. So you
yeah.
can find me anywhere with that.
Amazing.
Give her a follow. Go support the amazing work. And yeah, this has been really dope, dude. We'd love to have you on again. It's been
Honestly.
so fun.
Yay! Thank you so much.
As soon as I can afford it, I'm gonna buy some of your work too.
I got you.
As me and Jack have talked about it, we're like, we're gonna buy it one day. That's our goal.
I love it. Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate that.
Well, thank you all so much for coming to another episode of Shoot Your Shot Podcast. You can find us on all social platforms at Shoot Your Shot Podcast _ and all streaming platforms. Give us a rate and review, a like and subscribe on YouTube,
Yes.
and let us know what you think so far. We've been doing this for a couple months now, so we'd love your feedback. Yeah.
You did that so good this time.
Thank you.
I know.
I
That
was
was
really
like, that was the
good.
you flowed. I like
Thanks.
felt your flow right there.
All right, we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.
Shoot your shot. Shoot your shot.